Hey guys, welcome to NBA Recap Week 3. This week started off with the Bucks taking another win, this time against the Detroit Pistons. Meanwhile, the Jazz defeated the Grizzlies despite Ja Morant putting up 37 points. Despite the loss, he's looking like a real MVP contender. The Clippers barely beat the Rockets, and the Kings beat the Hornets. The 76ers got their next win over the Wizards, but unfortunately lost to them in the next meeting. And then Harden got injured for at least another month. Not looking good for them, especially with Embiid already out. The Raptors smoked the Hawks by 30 points in a full-on blowout as Trae Young did not perform well. The Nets got their second win against the Pacers, though they took a loss against the Bulls the next day. The Warriors had a bad time in Florida as they lost both to the Heat, who are without Jimmy Butler, and the tanking Orlando Magic. The Thunder did beat the Magic though, while the Suns were able to take on the Timberwolves, who seem to be struggling a little bit when it comes to chemistry. The Cavs beat the Celtics in a close-ass game that went into overtime, and the Heat got their revenge on the Kings by beating them in their second meeting. The Hawks returned to New York and were the villains of New York as they usually are, as they got the W. The Bulls got another win as they beat the Hornets, and the Clippers beat the Rockets again by even more points this time as they start to look even better. The Bucks got their 7th win and are still undefeated. The Raptors, who were underrated coming into the season, are looking amazing as they beat the Spurs by 43 points. The Mavs beat the Jazz by 3. Luka put up another 30-point-plus game. Another MVP contender. Grizzlies beat the Trailblazers in a close game. They are without Dame Lillard. The Lakers beat the Pels in a close game that went into overtime, and they are looking better as Westbrook comes off the bench. Then Jokic got his 79th triple-double, passing Wilt Chamberlain as the center with most triple-doubles in a career, as the Nuggets beat the Thunder again, while Jamal Murray is looking more like his old self. Though it is important to note they went about 5 days without a game. That same day, Kyrie Irving got a 5-day suspension from the Nets, at minimum, for some stuff he posted and his refusal to take back what he said prior to the suspension. Though afterwards, he came out with an apology post. I'm not going to be getting into what he said, as it is very political, and at the moment, I want to keep politics away from my channel and focus on entertainment. Anyways though, on to Friday. We had the Miami Heat lose to the Pacers in a dramatic ending, as the Pacers only won by 1 basket. The 76ers are out Harden and Embiid and lose to the Knicks. The Nets, without Kyrie, beat the Washington Wizards in a full-on blowout. And Cleveland, without Mitchell and Garland, beat the Pistons. The Grizzlies beat the Hornets in a blowout as well. The Clippers looked well without Kawhi Leonard, as they beat the Spurs, and Siakam suffered an injury in the Dallas game. Hopefully he's okay, though Dallas barely won this game. The Bucks take their 8th win in a row and still remain undefeated, as they beat the Timberwolves, while the Warriors lose another game this time against the Pelicans, being their 6th on the road they lost, which is all of them. Though it is important to note that they did not play Wiggins, Curry, Draymond, or Clay in this game. Then the Jazz beat the Lakers. The Celtics overtook the Bulls, despite DeRozan being only 4 points short of a 50-point game. And in a nail-biter, Jeremy Grant hit a big buzzer beater for the Trailblazers to beat the Suns. Then the next day, the Suns and Trailblazers faced off again, and the Suns beat them by 20. The Kings got a win over Orlando in an overtime game despite Bol Bol, Banchero, and Wendell Carter Jr. putting up big numbers. The Nets won against the Hornets again without Kyrie Irving, as KD put up 27 by himself. The Nuggets won big time over the San Antonio Spurs as Bones Highland returns from injury and put up 21 points along with Jokic putting up 21 points of his own. The Nuggets defense has greatly improved since last season, which makes them even scarier. The Hawks beat the Pelicans as Ice Trae put up 34 points and gets in a bit of a conflict with Zion Williamson as he ran right into him by mistake, and the two seem to have an issue with each other, especially Trae. The Timberwolves beat the Rockets, the Celtics beat the Knicks, and the Bucks beat the Thunder without Giannis due to a knee injury and Holiday not doing much either, making this team still undefeated 9 games into their season, which makes them very, very scary. The Cavs beat the Lakers to give them their 7th loss of the season. The Bulls lose to the Toronto Raptors in a very tight game. The Jazz beat the Clippers even as Paul George does 34. And the Grizzlies, they beat the Wizards by 5. Now that the standings have become a bit more spread out, we can go over them. For the West, the Rockets sit dead last at spot 15 and are the worst team in the NBA record-wise, with only winning 10% of their games at a 1-9 record. The Lakers hold that 14th spot with a 2-7 record. The possibly most surprising thing on the standings is the reigning champs holding the 13th spot in the West with a 3-7 record. They really need to get their shit together, especially on the defensive end, which means they need to chill out on fouls. The Kings hold a 3-5 record at spot 12 and the OKC Thunder hold the 11th spot at a 4-5 record. Though Shai is having an amazing year this far, and don't sleep on this team because they could bite you in the ass. At our 10th seed, we got the Timberwolves. The reason for that is they are really lacking in chemistry right now, and I really don't think the Rudy Gobert trade was as good of an idea as they did. At spot number 9, we got the Spurs, who have had a surprisingly good start with a 5-5 record, tying the Timberwolves and the 8th seed Clippers, who desperately need Kawhi back. For spot 7, we got the Pelicans, who are doing an amazing job now that they have Zion back with a 5-4 record. The Mavs also have a strong start with a 5-3 record, sitting at spot 6. At seed 5 and 4, we got the Denver Nuggets and the Trailblazers respectively. The Nuggets are doing good as everyone expected them to, while the Trailblazers are doing a lot better than most people expected them to, both sitting at a 6-3 record. At seed 3, we got the Grizzlies, who have Ja Morant, who is having an MVP caliber year this far. And the most surprising thing on here is the Jazz at the seed number 2, with an 8-3 record. Insane to think that most people thought this team was going to tank. And for the top seed in the West, we got the Suns with a 7-2 record. On to the East, we got the Magic and the bottom spot with a 2-8 record, Pistons at seed 14 with the same record, and Charlotte got a 3-7 record, putting them at spot 13. I kind of guessed these three would be at the bottom 3, at least the bottom 5. I did not guess, though, that Miami would be at seed 12 with a 4-6 record, though I expect that to change. The Wizards sit at seed 11 with the same record, as well as the 76ers with the same record, but at spot 10. Also did not predict that. The Nets also have a 4-6 record, sit at spot 9. Indiana sits at spot 8, but I expect them to go down though, but they have a 4-5 record right now. Same as the Knicks, who sit at spot 7. Obviously, a lot more ties and records in the Eastern Conference. Chicago sits at the 6th seed with a 5-6 record as they follow Toronto, who has a 6-4 record at seed 5. The Hawks are having a great year this far and sit at seed 4 with a 6-3 record, tying the Celtics record who sit at seed 3. The Cavs are having a hell of a season so far with a whopping 8-1 record at seed 2, but no team has been like the Bucks, who have a 9-0 record and remain undefeated, obviously taking the number 1 seed. And the thing is, they still don't even have Middleton back, so it's going to get scarier as it goes. Anyway though, that's week 3 for the NBA. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please drop a like and subscribe for more NBA content. Thank you guys, much love. Thank you.